families of the Cradock Four who were killed by apartheid operatives in 1985 are yet to find justice. They've now approached the Gauteng High Court to compel the NPA and South African Police Service to do their jobs. The families of the men say time is running out as witnesses and suspects either grow old or die. The Cradock Four were Fort Kalata, Matthew Goniwe, Newzroom Mhlauli and Sparrow Mkhonto. For more on this, we're joined now by one of the Cradock Four widows, Mama Nombuyiselo Mhlauli, who's live to us from Cape Town. Mama Nombuyiselo, good evening, Enkosi, and thank you so much for your time tonight. Let's talk then about this latest development that you're now compelling the South African Police Service and the NPA to really do their jobs here. Let's talk about how we got here. Have you engaged these particular institutions, and what answers were you given for the delays?
Okay. Thank you, Bongiwe, and good evening to everybody. Bongiwe, I should say that by now, there are no answers at all so far. That is why now the case has been launched in the High Supreme Court, so that the case should be followed up and perpetrators brought into book. Because we know that the other ones who committed serious crimes, the other ones who slaughtered our families, the other ones who killed our husbands, brothers, sisters, and daughters all over the country. But I must say to you, Bongiwe, when we achieved our freedom, we were hoping that things will be much better. Things will be followed up. The perpetrators will be taken to book. You know, they'll be prosecuted so that we can also have peace with ourselves. For now, we still don't have peace. You know, we still have those gaping wounds that are oozing blood. We're feeling so sad inside ourselves. I am definitely telling you that many more others are feeling the way I feel, that our brothers and sisters have been slaughtered, have been slaughtered not for any other, not for any other benefit or gain, because they were hoping that we will gain a freedom. They didn't bother, they didn't worry about losing their lives because they were saying we'll achieve freedom. We've achieved freedom. It's 27 years down the line. We heard that some of the people, of the perpetrators, who did not even apply for amnesty, they were just left like that. Nobody said anything. They were never locked up. They were never questioned. They were never taken to court to answer for their sins. And those that applied, even them, they were denied amnesty, but still nothing happened to them.
And for you, Mama, how does it make you feel that you've now reached this point of having to force those that need to hold, these killers accountable, that now you have to take this route?
You know what, Bongiwe? Well, I am feeling okay, but not 100% okay, because we were 4, but we're no longer 4. And many other families have lost their people, still waiting to see what's going to be happening. Now, we've taken this step with the hope that our government will work side by side with us and get these perpetrators to book. We are yearning for peace. We are crying just to tell you guys how bitter I feel sometimes. I've got a document that was given to us in 1985. I keep visiting that document sometimes and look at what was done to my husband. I look at the post-mortem results. I take a pen and I tick each and every wound, that the doctor talks about. I've done that many a times. And I've heard people saying that we had about 43, 42, 45 stab wounds. I've gone through that post-mortem, taking each and every, and even lacerations, the wounds, the deep wounds of different sizes, meaning that, different weapons were used to stab him. I counted about 50 stab wounds of different sizes, about 20 lacerations, meaning that, they were really cruel towards him. And the worst thing is that, what I read is that, they cut his larynx, Besides that, each and every rib space, had a wound. Every part of his body, even the heart, a knife protruded through the heart as well, And besides that, they burned the bodies. What for? The only part that was not burned, according to these results this post-mortem results, is that it's only the shoes it's the feet that were saved because of the shoes. Otherwise, his whole body, he was burnt. The lower body was burnt. The head was burnt, and the faces and neck and everything, because they threw acid over his face. Besides that, they cut completely his right hand. What for?
Certainly.
And
yes. Certainly a disturbing picture that
my father-in-law from Cradock, he was an elderly man. He had to go to Port Elizabeth to identify the body. Utata went there. When Utata came back, he was not himself at all. Utata kept on talking to himself. Yini amabhulu umntana wam ambulale kabuhlungu kangaka. Because he saw his son. Utata couldn't sleep. Utata couldn't, he kept on talking alone. And his health condition deteriorated until he died. Even Umama Kastel, she also suffered from a stroke, and she also couldn't survive. She died. Elder brother Kastel, he was crying every day to Sakiv, and said to me, Nolit, I just can't bear this. What has happened to my brother? Now he ultimately died. I said during the day of the funeral, I don't want to see him. I want to have the same image that I had as he was alive. I don't want to see the one, because I could see a close friend of his, who opened the coffin, and I could see, how he frowned. When people asked me, I said, no, I don't want to. I really don't want to. So it's something that is still with us. We've been living with it, this pain, for all those years, from 1985 up to now. It's not something that we can go over it. Maybe if the government does something, if justice is done, if the government does something, according to the book pertaining to all these perpetrators, maybe that would bring a little piece of peace to our hearts and minds, and to our families, and to the entire community of South Africa that has gone through such pains. Because I know there are people who've gone through the same thing, or even the worst situation, but they are quiet in their little corners. Nobody is saying anything. They are the voiceless sitting there with the pain that they are going through.
And Mama Undipolele, for coming in there, you really are painting a very difficult picture, and I can tell that this really has taken a toll on you. There's another issue, though, that I know that you're also not happy about, is around the picture that you say is also out there that is causing a bit of confusion. Talk to us then about your unhappiness with this.
Yes, Bongiwe, you know what? There's that picture. The picture that is always frightened when they talk about Cradock Four. They will use a picture of the 4 men that are walking. And yet we're talking about the men that died together. Those 4 men are not all those men that died in 1985. Mbulelo Goni is still alive even today. My daughter Jacobs died of natural causes. Yes, Matthew and Port, they died, But the other 2, if they use that picture, it means that, they renegade the other comrades. You understand? So that's what I've been talking about. I've been fighting for, to say, use the right picture. If you're saying Cradock 4, 1985, those who died together, please use the right picture. but people keep on using the other picture. I don't know why. You know, I'm raising that bongo because we've been talking about it. We've been trying to, even here at UCT, I went there the other day. Students were having sort of an activity. They didn't know who this Cradock Four people was. They know these other 4 guys. They said these are the guys who died in 1985. I said, no, it's not. Because I was talking from the point of being a wife herself, but they wouldn't believe me. They say, every time when we go to the internet, we find these photos. I said, no, those photos are wrong. Until they listened to me and they understood my point, you know, about this picture, that it is not the picture of the 1985 comrades who died together.
All right.
So I don't know. I really want you guys to correct that. If you say in Cradock Four that died 1985, use the relevant picture, please.
All right, Mama, thank you so much for your time. One can certainly hope that, you know, you do get some closure that you really desperately need, and really, as this time has really clearly brought about so much pain for you, and I hope that you do, through this process, as the families, find closure and be able to close this door once and for all. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We certainly...
The picture that you just lighted now, that's the picture we are talking about.
Okay, so yes, and I really wanted them to put it there so that the viewers can also see that this is not the correct picture, as you say.
And it worries me because it's confusing the school children. You understand? It is distorting the history. Children do not know. They just look at the pictures and think that these are the people that died in 1985 for this freedom. Of course, they are not the only ones. But we're talking now particularly about the Cradock Four.
All right, Mama Nkosi, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it here on News at Prime. That was Mama Nombuyiselo Mhlauli, who is the widow to Sicelo Mhlauli, who was one of the Cradock Four. Really gaping wounds that are still there and clearly visible as she talks about that difficult time that she found herself in. And really one can hope that these families do get some kind of closure. And on info